Well, I'm just puzzling. My name is Chris. Today we're going to do a Killer Sudoku at the expert level. I do it on my iPad and I do it without note, mainly because this is more a maths based puzzle rather than a puzzle that it requires to sort of figure out where they are. So, say for example, here is a box, right? This box has the numbers 1 through 9. When you add 1 through 9, that adds up to 45. I have a spare cage here that crosses over. So if I add up, or no, I'm going to take all that back because I don't have a spare cage because that's gone across there. Okay, so we'll try and find another one to have that conversation. But if you see here, 18 plus 17 is 25, plus 6 is 31, plus 14 is 45. So that's added up to 45. That's an enclosed cage. If you add these up, it adds up to 45 because that's an enclosed cage. Here is that spare one that's not an enclosed cage. So 8 plus 18 is 26, plus 15 is 41. So this is going to be a 4, and this will be a 7. Okay, so we now know this is 9 and 6. We now know that that's 9 and 6. This 15 must be a 7 and an 8 because it couldn't be 7 and couldn't be 9 and 6, and the only numbers that make up the 15 is 9, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Okay, what I now have is I've got a spare cage here. So 7 plus 18 is 25, plus 14 is 39, plus 4 is 43, so that's a 2. Alright, so this is how I go about doing it. Okay, so 9 and 6. This is one's an interesting one, right? So, no, it's not. So 7 has to be here, here, or here. We now know that this is 2 and 3 because that's a 4. So if that's 2 and 3, this is 1 and 3. So 1 has to be there and a 3 has to be there. This can be 8 and 6, but it can't because that's 9 and 6 and 8 and 6. So this has got to be a 9 and this has got to be a 5. That leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 and 6 in these ones here. What we can do is 10, 20, 28, 35, 10, so that's the 8 there. So 8 in this row here. This is going to be 9 and 4 because the other numbers that make up 13, 7 and 6 can't be that one. 8 and 5 can't be that one. There's a 9, so that's going to be a 9 there. And that's going to be a 4. So that now means that that's the 4 and that's a 6 because we know that 4 is there. Okay. Still got 2 and 3 here. 3 can be there, there or there. So with this, so I'm just going to explain something. We know that's 2 and 3, so we need to have a 1 somewhere. Right, 28, if I add up the biggest 3 numbers, which is 9, 7 and 8, that comes to 24. To get to 28 it can't be a 1, so that is going to be the 1 there. The other 2 numbers that are in it, 7 is 4, which is that there, 4 and 2. Okay. 6, so if I know that's a 2, that must be the 2 there, and that's the 3 there. We know that the 3 is down here somewhere. One is there, and I'll explain. Remember, I said 1 couldn't be in there, so that's going to be a 1. What I've also got, by the way, is I've got a 2 plus 28 is 30, 40, so that's going to be 5, so that make that 5, it's got to be an 8. To get to 13, and that has to be a 4. So 12, 13, 26, 36, 9 there. How did I add that up wrong? Let's have a look. So 12, 13, plus 13 is 26, plus 10 is 36. Did I put the 9? It's a 9 there. Sorry, I must have put the 9 there by mistake. I knew what I was doing, but didn't. Makes sense to me. So this has got to be 11. Can't be 7 and 4. Can't be 8 and 3. So it's got to be 5 and 6 there. So 6 is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, 11. That leaves us with 17. So this is 8 and 9 here. 8 and 9 there. So this is 7 and 3. So 7 and 3. And this is 5 and 6. 1, 2. So 2 is there. 5 and 6. 5 and 6 here. 3 and 7. Okay. $14, 9 and 7, 2 and 4, 3 and 7. Okay, so what do we got? We've got 14, so this is going to be 9 and 5 or 8 and 6. 11 here is going to be 4 and 7 or 5 and 6. 2, 2, 5 and 6. 11 plus 16, 17, 27. 27 to that is 18. That can't be right. 11, 21, 37, 8. So 8 and 8. That leaves me with 8 here as well. Okay. Three, 4, 2, 4, 2. So this is 3 and 5 here because the 6 and 7 can't be there. So that's 3 and that's 5, and the reason for that was that 3 there. That leaves us 3 down here. So this can either be 3 and 8 or 3 and 9. So 5, remember that's 5 and 6 there, so 5 and 4 goes, but except for the 4, so that's a 5. That leaves 8 there, which is 2 and 6, 2 and 6 there, 3, 4, 5, this is 1 and 8, so this is 9 and 3, so 3 and 9, 1 and 8, 2 and 6, 4 and 7. If that's a 4, 4 and 7 works, or 4 and 3 works. Bugger. So the two numbers that can be here is 1 and 9, 1 and 9, or 8 and 2, or 9 and 1. So this has to be now 8 and 6, which means 9 is here. So if that's 9, that has to be an 8. That can be a 1 and 7, or 2 and 6. So if I'm saying that's a 9, because it has to be, so that's a 9 there, which means that's a 9 up here, and that's a 6. 6 and 5 doesn't work. 6 and 3 doesn't work, so this is 6 and 2 here. Because of that, that's a 6, that's a 2. So that means this is still 1 and 8, 4 and 7. Which means that if that's a 4 and 7, 7 has to be up there, can't be there. So that's a 7. That's a 4. 3, 5. So this is 6 and 1. Leaving the 1 and 8 there. If that's a 1, 8, this has to be the 9. That has to be the 8. Still 6 and 5, I don't know. I know 2 is there. So I know 9 is here. Where else can I 9 and 1 there. That works. 9 and 1 there works. So 3 can be here, or even here. 8 and 6, so I know 8 is going to be there. If that's an 8, that's got to be the 8 there. That's a 1, which leaves me there's an 8 there. So what does that leave me with? 2. 1 and 2 apparently. So 1 and 2 are there, that means that's a 7, adding up to 15. If that's a 7, this is a 3 and 5, so 5 and 3, 1 and 2. 1, 2. So 4 and 7 there, 5 and 6 still there. 1, so this is going to be 1, 7, 9. 1 is there, 7 is there, so this is 2 and 4, which means this is a 4, this is a 7. So 7 and 1, 3 and 5 works, 2 and 6 works. But that's 6 and 8, so that's 5 and 3. So this can't be a 6 and this can't be a 6. So this is going to be 6 and 2. So that's a 6 there. That's a 2. That's an 8. That's a 1. That's a 9. That's a 9. That's a 1. That's a 7. Alright, that sort of fell out for me, didn't it? 7. 1, 2, 8. So that's a 9. 5 and 6 is still there. So 11 is going to be 8 and 3. So the 8's there. So 8 and 3. 8 and 6. Which leaves me with the 6 up there. 6, 5, 5, 2, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 11, 5. All right. One silly error, mainly because I had that error where I put the 9 in the wrong spot. Outside of that, reasonable time, reasonably easy to, it fell out for me. A bit worried there to start because I couldn't find anything to start off with, but once I got started, it seemed to just flow. Anyway, that's enough for me. Bye for now.